All right, we are going over your poetry, prose, and drama review worksheet that you were supposed to complete today. It looks like this. Before you do this, you need to read 1 Inch Tall by Shel Silverstein. There are 3 different versions of it. There's the poetry version, the prose version that says rewritten or written again, and it's rewritten in the prose form, and then rewritten again in the drama form. So you need to read those 3, then answer these questions, and then watch this video. If you've not done that already, stop the video, go do that, and come back, because I'm going to go over the correct answers and why they are the correct answers, and I want you to do it yourself first before you get the answers from me. All right, so it says, on my screen, you should see the PowerPoint. I will put the PowerPoint on Canvas too, so you can look at it later if you want. But I'm just going to go over it too right now. So it says Poetry, Prose, and Drama Review Worksheet. Watch this video after you read pages 15 through 17 of your reading packet, which are the 3 different versions of 1 Inch Tall, and completed page 18, which is the review questions. So the first question. Explain how you would read a drama differently than you would read a poem. So these are the answers that I've come up with. If you put a different answer and you still think it's correct and you can justify or tell me why you think it is correct, then that is fine. These are just examples of a correct answer, so if you have something different or you don't have these, that's okay. If you wrote something that's not right, and you can't justify it and you can't tell me why you think it's right, then go ahead and change your answer to one of the ones I'm giving you. And hopefully my explanation will help you understand why it's the right answer. So, how would you read a drama differently than you would read a poem? Well, in a poem, there's only one person who reads it. When you read 1 Inch Tall by Shel Silverstein, it was just you reading it. But a drama has multiple characters that could read it. The characters go back and forth and talk in dialogue, which was the second point on this PowerPoint. And then poems have a rhyme scheme. So while you're reading the poem, you are rhyming at the same time. An example of that is from the poem 1 Inch Tall. It says, if you were only 1 inch tall, you would ride a worm to school. The teardrops of a crying ant would be your swimming pool. So there's rhyming in that poem where there is not so much rhyming in a drama. Question 2. What are 2 differences between poetry and prose? The best place to look for this answer was your anchor charts at the beginning of your packet that have all the characteristics of poetry, prose, and drama. You need to look and figure out which ones are the same and which ones are different, and we want the ones that are different. So these are some examples of some answers that you could have had. You could have had that poetry is written in lines, while prose is written in complete sentences. Poetry does not have to be written in complete sentences, but prose does. Groups of lines in poetry are called stanzas, while groups of line in prose are called paragraphs. So when you're reading poetry, those groups of lines together are stanzas, but in a prose, it's a paragraph. Prose has dialogue, and poetry uses figurative language. So those are just some examples of the differences between poetry and prose that you could have put down. Again, if you have something different and you can justify to me why you think it's right, or you can prove to me why it's right, then I'm okay with it. Question 3. What are 2 differences between prose and drama? Again, look at your anchor charts. Find the differences between prose and drama. Well, dramas have characters that act out the play, while prose just have characters in the story. In a prose, there are just characters that are part of the story. But in a drama, there are characters that are acting out the story. Dramas have stage directions and cues. Remember on Monday, when you were listening to me reading and you might have been reading with me, the stage cues, grabbing your neck, whispering. Those are things that you act out. You don't read them while you're reading a drama. Prose don't have those. You can find prose in newspapers, novels, biographies, and textbooks. And then dramas can also be made into musicals. So those are some differences between prose and dramas. If you have something different and you can tell me why it's the right answer, I'm okay. If you have something different and you don't think it's the right answer, go ahead and change it. And the last one, the easiest one, list 3 examples of prose. On your prose anchor chart, it literally says, where do I see it? And you just copy these down. This is where you find prose. In newspapers, novels, biographies, textbooks, or short passages. It's as simple as that. And that is our review of your worksheet today. I will put the PowerPoint, like I said, on Canvas, so if you want to look back over it, you can, or copy some of the answers that you might not have gotten. What you are doing tomorrow is you are going to read My Brother Just Eats Candy, and it is a poem. And you are going to rewrite it as a prose. There's plenty of writing lines for you to rewrite it as a prose. So you need to have characters that are the same. They need to be doing the same thing. You can't change the story. If it's about your brother eating candy, you can't change your prose to the first day of school when we went to the zoo. It has to be the same. But instead of reading it as a poem or writing it as a poem, you are rewriting it as prose. Okay, I'll be hanging out on Zoom tomorrow for our spelling test. So if you have questions or need help with that, I can help you then, okay? And then that is all for this week. I will see you on Monday where we will do some more work with poetry, prose, and drama.